Hey guys, today I'm going to share with you how to make my dad's white adobo. And the difference between white adobo and regular adobo is instead of using soy sauce, my dad uses salt. And it came out so delicious. He actually came here a couple weeks to show me the recipe, and I'm going to show you guys some clips of him teaching me. So my dad says every time I cook tomatoes, I have to smash it like this to get them nice and cooked down.
Yeah, make sure they're cooked.
Now adding in the chicken pieces, which is basically chicken thighs.
They're big.
Yeah, they're 8 chicken thighs. I removed the skin because, you know, me and my dad don't like to eat the skin. So my dad never measures when he cooks, but I measure because I like to give the recipes out and I like people to easily replicate it. So I'm
almost 3/4 of a cup.
Oh, 3/4? Okay, yeah. So half a cup plus a little bit more, right?
3/4.
That was half a cup though.
No, that's 3/4.
And I got we got a comic book.
Oh, you put 3, okay.
And we got a comic book.
Oh, we got a comic book, okay. Okay, so that was the wrong information. My dad didn't realize this is half a cup. He thought it was a cup, so he only filled it up about 3/4 of the way. So really, it's a half a cup of vinegar. How long are we gonna cook this, Dad?
Until it's cooked.
Until it's cooked. What does that mean?
Maybe 30 minutes.
Maybe 30 minutes until it's cooked. Let's see if this is good. Mmm, so good. Okay, definitely gonna make a video out of this. I'll show you guys a recipe. This is delicious, you guys. How this recipe all started is I saw a video of someone braising chicken in vinegar, and it reminded me of something that my dad had made. So I called them up and asked them what it was, and we decided that he was just gonna come over here and show me how to make it, which I'm so glad he did because my hubby and my son absolutely loved it. And I love my dad's cooking because it's made with really simple ingredients, just like my cooking. So let's get started. Here I have 1 head of garlic, and I'm just gonna go ahead and smash the cloves. I really love to smell it. Usually I have garlic pieces flying everywhere. Okay, so once you smash the garlic, it just comes out so easily like this. Like the skin just slides right off. Now that I have the garlic all nice and peeled, I'm gonna go ahead and give it another smash and then give it a rough chop. If you watched my other adobo video that I made prior, you know that my parents never mince garlic. They always just give it a smash and then a rough chop. All right, so we have this all nice and rough chopped. And now I'm gonna work on the tomatoes. My dad did give me an option to make this white adobo with or without tomatoes, but I opted for with because I feel like it adds some nice flavor, and plus I like tomatoes. So here I have 2 Roma tomatoes, and I'm gonna go ahead and give them a dice. And I'm gonna dice them up pretty small because just like when you saw when my dad was cooking it, he was smashing them. So you kind of don't want these tomatoes to be like whole. You want them like nice and smashed just to give the sauce a little bit of a tomatoey flavor. Another option that my dad had mentioned is if you like a bit of heat, you could add some minced chilies or some red crushed pepper flakes to the dish. I'm not gonna add any today because my sons are gonna eat this and they don't take heat very well. And another tip is my sister-in-law also gave me these Thai chilies. She bought them from the market, but she didn't want to waste them, so she put them in the freezer. So I keep these in the freezer as well, and it's nice to have on hand and you don't have to waste your chilies. Here I have about 7 bone-in chicken thighs, and you can go from anywhere between 6 to 8 depending on how many people you are feeding. And what my dad normally does is he cuts up a whole chicken, and I find that that's too much work for me. So I like to get individual chicken thighs from the grocery store. And then we both remove the skin because we're both not fan of chicken skin. And what I like to do is I take my fingers and I try to find where the bone is, and I take my knife and kind of slide across the chicken without cutting the bone. So it's basically cutting it in half. So here I have a piece of chicken without the bone, and here I have a piece of chicken with the bone. And what this does is it makes the chicken pieces smaller. So the smaller it is, it'll absorb the sauce, and the more it absorbs the sauce, the more flavorful it'll be. Okay, so now that I have all the chicken pieces all nice and cut up, I am ready to get cooking. So go ahead and meet me over at the stove. Okay, so I have my pan heated over medium heat, and I'm gonna go ahead and add in some oil. You could use whatever oil you like. I just use olive oil because that's my oil of choice, but feel free to use whatever oil that you cook with. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add in all the garlic. And I'm just gonna cook this down for about 30 seconds to a minute. And this may seem like a lot of garlic, but once it's all cooked down, trust me, it's not gonna be too garlicky. Okay, so now it's time to add in the diced tomatoes. And like I mentioned before, I diced them up pretty small. And if you guys are choosing to use the chili flakes or the minced chilies, this is a time you want to go ahead and add them right in. So I'm just going to give this a stir, and then I'm going to go ahead and cover and cook this for about 2 minutes so that the tomatoes will cook down. Okay, so the 2 minutes has passed, and now I'm going to go ahead and just gently smash the tomatoes. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm just smashing the tomatoes to give the sauce a slightly tomato flavor without eating like whole chunks of tomatoes. All right, it's looking really good. I'm gonna go ahead and add in the chicken pieces. And I'm gonna go in with a generous amount of salt. Remember that we're not using soy sauce, and adobo is usually a nice and savory dish. So make sure you season it really, really well. I'm gonna go in with some black pepper. And I'm gonna continue to cook the chicken down for about 2 minutes while stirring occasionally. I did turn the heat to medium-high while I was cooking the chicken. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add in what is gonna make this so flavorful, the vinegar. I'm gonna go ahead and add in ½ a cup of vinegar. And you guys wanna see my gigantic jug of vinegar here? And the reason why I have a gigantic container of vinegar is because we do use it for cleaning. I'm also going to add in ½ a cup of water. I realize that my parents never use chicken broth. Like, I use a lot of chicken broth in my recipes because I learned how to cook here, but I don't think I've ever seen my dad or mom use chicken broth. They usually use water. And I'm thinking that's because they use a lot of, when they cook chicken, they use a lot of meat with the bones, so like chicken with the bones, so the bones from the chicken kind of flavors up the sauce. So I'm gonna bring this to a boil. And once it comes to a full-on boil, I'm gonna go ahead and lower the heat to medium-low. And I'm gonna cover and let it cook until the chicken is nice and tender. This will take about 15 to 20 minutes. 20 minutes has passed. And the chicken is looking nice and cooked through. So at this point, what I wanna do is turn up the heat to about medium-high. And I wanna see how it's watery? But there's lots of sauce here. I want the sauce to get nice and thickened. So I'm turning up the heat to reduce the liquid. Okay, so about 5 to 6 minutes has passed and the sauce is now nice and reduced. I'm gonna go ahead and turn up the heat. You don't wanna overdo this because you still want some sauce to top over your rice. The last time I made it, everybody loved the sauce and we kind of ran out of the sauce. Everyone was scooping it over the rice, so. Yeah, about 5 to 6 minutes should do it. Okay, this is looking so good, you guys. We are ready to serve this up. Okay, moment of truth. It is time for the taste test. And my dad is feeling a little bit under the weather today, so I'm actually gonna pack some of this up and give this to him for dinner today. So hopefully I've done him proud today. As with all Filipino cooking, you have to have some rice. We like to use jasmine rice, but you can use whatever rice that you prefer, but jasmine is really good. I'm gonna go ahead and scoop some, you wanna try this, Bradley? The chicken and rice? So for Bradley, he's very picky, so I have to cut up the chicken very tiny and mix it into the rice. Whereas Aaron, my older son, oh, he absolutely loves this, and so does my hubby. So when Aaron comes home from school today, I'll film his reaction. Okay, let's get some of that thickened sauce. And because we cut this chicken nice and small, the chicken is just really absorbs that vinegary flavor and the savoriness from the salt that we added. Okay. So got some chicken, little rice, little sauce. Time to taste it. Oh my goodness, you guys, so good. I'm so glad that my dad had taught me this recipe, and now I can pay it forward and pass this on to my kids and along to you guys. Also, I wanna add, if you can stand the heat, add those minced chilies. Oh my gosh, this is really delicious with a little spice to it. It's good without it, but if you could stand it, I would add it. I mean, I would add it to this, but you know, the kids. Thank you guys for spending time with me and Bradley in the kitchen. I appreciate you guys so much. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Take care. Bye. Okay, take a bite. Tell me how it is.
It's so delicious.
It is? Yay! Flavorful, huh? Mm-hmm. The meat is so tender, and that has like a tangy sauce, huh? You like it?
Yeah, and this is my first time eating this after the first day of school, the fourth grade.
Okay.
That's actually my only time. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Subscribe.